Just real quick poll, who in the room is a merchant who's using email marketing actively to generate revenue right now? So quite a lot of hands. And then keep your hands up if you're doing a significant amount of automation. Okay, so fewer hands, cool. Well then hopefully we'll be able to dig in to some really great examples of what 2 Magento merchants are doing to get more value from their existing customers. So just a brief refresher, Windsor Circle, we're here exhibiting at Magento Imagine. We're really excited to be here. We're a startup, we're 3 years in, and we've got a ton of customers now, a ton of Magento customers doing amazing things, making a significant amount of revenue. Basically, our platform does 4 key things. We connect Magento to your email service provider. We recover abandoned carts, we automate retention marketing, and we help analyze CLV and other retention metrics. So again, I'm Andrew Pearson, I'm VP of Marketing, and I'm here with Josh and Ziv, and I'll just ask each of you guys to introduce yourself. Ziv, you want to go first?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Ziv. I work for Coffee Less. We are an online coffee retailer. Internet Retailer 500, and I am the e-commerce manager. I do SEO, front-end development. I work with a lot of our vendors, and it's been my pleasure to work with Windsor in the past few months setting up these automation.
I'm Josh from Working Person Store. I'm the online operations manager. We sell apparel and footwear to people who have specialized needs for their jobs, so things like steel-toe boots, flame-resistant apparel, stuff like that.
Cool. So, many of you may be, wondering what's sort of the overall goal here. Well, Adobe Forest report Adobe Loyal Shoppers put out a report that found that about 8% on average of retail site visitors constitute 41% of your revenue. And that's because this 8% segment, these are your repeat buyers. Within that 8% segment, you have an even smaller number who are best customers, people who are shopping over and over. And those constitute a pretty significant portion. So what both Coffee for Less and Working Person Store have been doing is focusing on that segment to create a pretty substantial increase in that chunk of revenue. So these guys, Coffee for Less, are fortunate to sell a somewhat addictive product. I drink a lot of coffee myself. So there's repeat buying sort of inherent in coffee. But we find that Coffee for Less is now making over $1 million a year, and this is all revenue that's directly attributed to these retention marketing campaigns. And same thing, Working Person. They've been really focusing on personalization of email campaigns, using that data that they're extracting from Magento through Windsor Circle to drive these kind of campaigns. They're also now making $1 million a year just from these programs. So this is all top-line revenue. The beautiful thing about it, now that they're part of this $1 million a year club, they've already acquired these customers, right? So they don't have to pay to reacquire them. So this is, in many ways, a very profitable adventure. And so I actually want to invite you guys. I think we've got our flasks on stage. Hopefully many of you have gotten a nice flask from Windsor Circle now, but just to formally induct you into our $1 million a year club, we'll have a little sip here.
Thank you.
It's clear fluid, nothing too special. So congratulations. And we invite you to bring your flasks out tonight to the legendary event and fill it with whatever substance you so desire. So this is there's a really powerful results, and some of it comes from the email open rates. And I'll just ask you guys. I mean, before you were doing this kind of data-driven marketing, I mean, what were your sort of general expectations around email open rates and click-throughs? I mean, what was sort of a good rate for you guys?
8%.
Yeah. 7%. Okay. So you can see here now we're getting at least 3 times the open rates across these campaigns. Some of them at 49%, 47%, and this is because think about this: how many folks are looking in their Gmail promotions tab, every 5 minutes? Probably not many, right? A lot of retail emails are landing there. So when you do go to that promotions tab, guess what's motivating you to open those emails, right? It's the sender. It's also the subject line. And if the subject line is personalized, i.e., thank you for buying this product, or we miss you, or hey, you're one of our best, you know that it's meant for you and you're going to open it, which is much different than a generic email that says 5% off this season's selection. So we can do this with any email provider. Both of these companies here use Bronto. So that's a great integration. Windsor Circle's got a lot of Bronto customers, so we push Magento data into Bronto into over 70 custom fields. But we also integrate with a lot of these other service providers, MailChimp, Email Direct, who are here. And also, we'll be scanning folks on the way out and the way in, I think, to enter you into a drawing for a $4,000 vacation, which is co-sponsored by Email Direct. So we're really excited about that. And because we really love these products, and pretty soon I'm going to turn it over to these guys, we're offering some really fun prizes. All you have to do is send one tweet. So this is not a contest for the most number of tweets. Send one tweet, and we'll randomly pick from everybody who tweets between 2 o'clock and 2:30 for one of these three things: $100 to spend at Coffee for Less, Working Person, and also $100 for the liquor of your choice to go into those lovely flasks. Cool. All right. So Ziv, maybe you can talk a little bit. Coffee for Less is an IR 500 retailer, and so their revenue numbers, at least as of 2012, were public in the top 500 guide, $19 million a year. So for them to be making $1 million a year, that's a 5% lift. And I'm kind of curious, I mean, what does that mean for you guys as a company? What kind of investment have you had to make to do that, and how does that feel?
Obviously it feels fantastic. We're a company, a small family-owned company, so that's a big jump for us. And I mean, we always like to have the newest and greatest technologies on the website. So obviously, any kind of increase in revenue lets us just do more stuff and work with new vendors and try out a lot of different technologies. And everything obviously should circle back around and just improve our website and make it better. So the increase is really up with that. We've been able to look at a lot of different technologies and vendors. A lot of whom are here actually, and just improve the site overall, user experience.
So Windsor Circle helps you make more money so you can spend more money with other vendors. So if you're a vendor in the room, give us a pat on the back. And then Josh, you guys are a private company, so your revenue data is not out there, but I'm just kind of curious how the results are as part of your overall growth trajectory. And
Email is a huge part of it. It's one of the things that we send an email out, it makes money for us. So email is one of the biggest places we look to drive our growth.
Awesome. So what Windsor Circle does is help guide retailers with what we call our 9 pillars of retention automation framework. So this is really sort of a programmatic approach to retention marketing. It's easy to kind of get into this and say, wow, I've got so much data, I could segment around this and personalize around that. But it's really important to understand that there is a customer life cycle, and there are a few key kind of experiences within that life cycle. So you want to really map your retention programs to one of these 9 pillars. It's basically like building a relationship, right? First, you got to get to know the person, get connected, welcome them, thank them after that first purchase and subsequent purchases. Amaze your best customers once you've really found somebody who's loyal, and then help people enjoy more, make it easy for them to repurchase. Save churning customers, because there are some valuable people who, guess what, they disappear for a little while. It's not because they don't like you, they've just gotten busy or they haven't noticed your emails. You got to strategically win them back. Create evangelists. There's also a really small subset of people who are out there and they're making way more money for you through referrals and recommendations and reviews than they are just in their own personal spend. So if you can find them and treat them really well, that's powerful. And then listening to your customers through the whole process, using that data, once you know what constitutes your best customer, go and find more of them, right? Reorient your marketing spend to get best customers in the beginning, right? So I love Coffee for Less's website. Ziv, maybe you can kind of just give us a little walkthrough of what do you guys sell, what are your best sellers, what's your focus?
Sure. So we sell obviously anything to do with coffee. Cured K-Cups are one of our main things. We also sell any kind of single sort of coffee pods, beans, ground coffee, teas, the machines you might need to brew any of this, and any kind of office supplies really for coffee. So you guys are looking at our homepage right now. And we, as you can see, the best sellers are usually the K-Cups. They do really well. We're happy about that.
And what's your technology stack? You guys are on Magento. What's the addition? What other kind of key pieces are
we've got
running this?
a lot going on here. So on this page, we're looking at we have Bounce Exchanges, that banner you see at the top. Bounce Exchange has been great for us. They've done all kinds of stuff with our site. The banners that create a sense of urgency for our customers, making them want to purchase sooner. They get coupon banners for us whenever we're running a campaign that come across the top of the site with the countdown, letting people know how long until that coupon expires. You guys can also see on here, we've started working with Social Annex to allow for social login for our customers. So customers don't have to go into our site and create their own account specifically for our site and then remember that password. With the social login, they can go in using their favorite network, whether it's Facebook. We support Facebook, Yahoo, Google+, and Amazon. And they can just use that account. They don't have to create new credentials for our website. And they can just shop right there. Another thing you can actually see on here, and it's a little bit off, if you see the more categories, link over there, that happens when you zoom on our page a bit right now. We're running an optimizer campaign to check out different wording for a lot of our different navigation, see if different names for our categories are more useful and pull in more customers to those specific pages. So that's just a couple of technologies we have running right there on the homepage.
Cool. And I'll jump over to Working Person Store, and Josh, maybe you can just kind of walk us through top sellers, what kind of tech is running this, and what do you love about your site?
Really what we have right now is the yellow banner goes across the site. A lot of this we did ourselves. So the yellow banner is done on our end, and it usually corresponds with one of the emails we have running. Same with the ironclad gloves, that corresponds to a sale that we're running. And then the Carhartt, Timberland, and Wolverine, those are just some of our biggest sellers. Other than that, we got all the top level categories on the left, and then some more top brands along the bottom.
And what's your Magento edition, and how customized are you?
We are very heavily customized. We're on Magento Enterprise Edition 1.8. So we've held behind, but it's because we've customized so much.
Great. Cool. So we're going to kind of dive through some of these pillars and talk about some specific campaigns within this retention marketing framework. Just a little snapshot. This is the dashboard. This is actually Coffee for Less's actual dashboard shot from within Windsor Circle. So you can get a sense of growth rate over time and repeat buyers. We're constantly analyzing that data on behalf of the merchants, showing things like AOV and CLV by segment, by traffic source, by product. So a lot of cool stuff here. One thing that we found throughout the industry is most retailers are at the top, right? This top graph, about 7% of your customers are repeat buyers, and they're generating 27% of your revenue. So that's what happens when people first come to Windsor Circle. We analyze their data. That's what we're seeing. And when guys like Ziv and Josh really crank it and take advantage of the software, this is where they're ending up. 38% of their customers are repeat buyers. So real opportunities for improvement. I like to think of your Magento purchase history data as gold that's sort of sitting under a couple feet of dirt. You just need a good shovel, guys. It's really easy to take advantage of this, and you can be doing the same kind of automation that Amazon does to personalize, recommend, win back, reward, thank, welcome, etc. And these are just some key segments. I know either of you guys maybe could comment on this, but when did you start sort of noticing or really driving towards focusing on repeat buyers? What was that switch? Because at some point I imagine you were both focusing on acquisition.
Yeah, really once we got into the Windsor Circle system and really dug into it, and we found out that we can hit these repeat buyers, it really seemed like a no-brainer. It didn't, just decided to do it.
For us, it's been quite a while. It's a no-brainer, really. It's much easier to keep your current customers, much cheaper for you to keep your current customers than to go out and buy new ones, so to speak. So we've always been very interested in customer retention. It's always been really important for us, and that's a lot of the reason why we decided to go to Windsor is because they can help us bring those people back. And that's way more important, not way more important, but very important to us because it pays off.
Cool. So just some examples, this is Joe, first-time shopper. He makes a purchase. A lot of you probably have welcome emails, maybe post-purchase thank you emails. It's really important to understand dynamics around win-back. So in this case, Coffee for Less, they've got a couple different win-back campaigns set up. So if Joe doesn't purchase for 90 days, they're going to get that win-back email. If he still doesn't purchase, he's going to get a second win-back email, and then a third. And in this case, hopefully that'll motivate that spend. But there's a lot of different segments, right? Coffee for Less, you guys are selling both to residential and then also to office buyers. And so your office buyer here is a little different, and this is where it gets into replenishment. So what are some of those dynamics, and how do you kind of treat them separately?
Yeah, so I mean, for the most part, if you're an office buyer, you're going to need to keep buying for your office on it. So it's not going to stop like with a regular customer, a regular person who might purchase for their home. They're usually going to shop around for whatever the best deal is. And to some extent, they might do that also for an office, but a lot of times, once somebody in an office has shopped one place, their boss tells them to go buy again, they're going to come back to the same place because other people at the office are pandering, they need their fix, right? So the replenishment email is really good with those individuals, the office individuals, because they need to order again for the entire office every X amount of days. So it's been really helpful for us there, making sure that they know to come back to us, and we don't, well, it also makes it easier for them to just come right back. They don't have to be reminded by their CEO or whoever is stop.
Exactly.
Stop.
So we're going to dive in and talk about kind of the ROI and this $1 million a year or 5 to 10% lift in top line revenue. So getting connected, this is Copy for Less. You guys are using Brilliance, right? Cool. So there's sort of this sequence of messages that you're putting out to new customers, and Josh, I know you guys kind of treat new customers differently too. What are some of those key themes that you're trying to put in front of new customers?
That we have the lowest price, free shipping, price protection, just really letting them know that we're the best place to go. So few of our competitors have a free shipping threshold anywhere close to us.
Cool. And a lot of folks are using sliders to collect email addresses, but I think I love that, putting your values, putting your some of the main strengths and differentiators about your site front and center. And then obviously this is Bounce Exchange, and so you guys are driving some good...
Right, so our new users get the Bounce Exchange or that Brilliance pop-up that you saw in the previous page. So Brilliance has a lot of different really cool features that we use to them. And one of them is a first-time visitor intro. It's just a little pop-up box where I used it to put a bunch of links that users might find useful when they come to the site. They might not know right away about our loyalty points, etc. So that's there so they can navigate around and learn more about our site. This is the Bounce Exchange pop-up to acquire email addresses when they first arrive at our website. We used to just have a little email box that they just type it in and go. We're testing out a new option now. If they already clicked, they're more likely to click again and keep typing. It keeps the user engaged. So we're trying this one out, and so far we're seeing pretty good results.
And then Working Person, so you guys have email collection related to a coupon. How's that?
This thing is amazing. When we first decided to do this, we wanted a way to get more email addresses, but we didn't want to affect conversion negatively. And a big giant pop-up typically you would think would affect conversion negatively. How we decided to fight that was we decided to make it really, really easy to make it get out of your way. So you got the X in the corner, no thanks underneath the button, and if you click anywhere outside that box, it goes away. Now, if you subscribe, you will never see this box again. If you don't subscribe, you'll see it again in 30 days. And with that, we saw no meaningful drop in conversion at all. And since we put it up, we've gotten 54,000 emails out of it. So
54,000 emails, that's awesome. And how long ago did you do that?
it was August of last year.
August of last year, that's phenomenal. So think about the value of an email address, right? What you should be paying to motivate visitors to give you their email address, because this is all part of the retention funnel, right? You can't retain people unless you've made that connection. This is just a Coffee for Less's newsletter thing, and one thing I wanted to highlight there, they've got the birth date as a field. Even if you're just collecting email address and then one other field, get the birth date, because it is just such an easy way to reach out to customers with a really great offer and a gift. And how wonderful is it to get gifts on their birthday, right?
Yes.
It's fantastic. We all love that stuff. So collect the birth date if nothing else, and obviously preferences and other things later. We're going to dive into kind of welcoming subscribers and customers. So Josh, you want to kind of tell us about this email and the strategy here?
Yeah, so this is the email you get when you sign up for the newsletter. That includes the shadow box that we just talked about. Basically, we just wanted to be a quick notification, let them know they've subscribed, as well as a way to give them their discount, a button to drive them to the site, And then almost all of our emails are signed by Eric, our CEO. And that email address, eric@workingperson.com, that's not like a office of the CEO or it goes to someone else. That's his actual email address. He really likes hearing from customers, good or bad. Good, so he knows we're doing well. Bad, if we have to get someone else on it. So.
And then this is Coffee for Less's post-purchase thank you email. And what I think is notable, both of these companies are using the CEO as the sender with the actual CEO's address. I mean, these emails, you could write back as a customer, and I'm just curious, why did you do that? Doesn't that fill up his inbox? I mean, what's the strategy here?
So as I mentioned, we're a relatively small family-owned company. So it's really important to Ben, our CEO, that we develop this community and let our customers know that we are actual people. We're not just an automated system that takes your email, takes your order and processes it. We are there, we are listening. Ben checks all of his emails. He'll send them to me if they're bad. He'll reply back with a happy notice if they're content customers. So it's really important for us.
Yeah, and this is 44% open rates. How many folks are getting 44% open rates on all their emails? Right, this is good stuff. So get the email out from the CEO. Heck, if you need to create a clone email address for your CEO that then goes back to customer service, do that as an option. But it's just such a powerful way to create a personal connection with your brand. So we'll move into that post-purchase thank you series kind of a little bit more deeply. So this is Ziv, one of the emails you're sending out, the second welcome or post-purchase thank you email. The subject line, thank you for your recent purchase and welcome to the Coffee for Less family, 33% open rates. What's your philosophy around thank yous? What's kind of the...
It's pretty straightforward. Just let the customer know we're happy that they've chosen us. Maybe our competitor isn't doing that. Maybe our competitor isn't thanking them. And that might be the difference between them deciding, oh wow, I really feel like I really matter to them when we shop at Coffee for Less or I go to somebody else. They don't even talk to me. I don't hear from them. So just that little connection between the customers, making it personal, is really important. And I think the open rate speaks for itself.
And Josh, maybe walk us through your kind of post-purchase engagement strategies here.
So we send our post-purchase email 21 days, which is a little longer than most people would do. But for us, there was a certain percentage of our customers that they either hadn't received their order yet or they had just gotten it. So the customers found it to be a little pushy. They'd be like, well, I haven't gotten my first order yet. Why would I give it, So we decided to make it 21 days.
Great. Cool. And then you guys also have a loyalty program, which I think is interesting. And this comes out also after those purchases. And are you like giving people some points just for that first purchase and then?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can get points on our rewards program a number of ways. Purchase is the big one. If you like a product on Facebook, +1. If you give us your birthday, if you're a veteran. That email is really more about driving engagement to the rewards program. Then less about sales.
Cool. So we'll jump over to the whole concept of amazing your best customers. As I've said, if 8% of your site visitors are responsible for 40% of your revenue, it's probably like 1% of your visitors are actually responsible for maybe 10% of your revenue. So your best customers can be phenomenally valuable, and it's really important to segment them out. So this is actually the dashboard. This is kind of what we call a revenue attribution center. So it ties the results from the various email programs, both from Google Analytics tracking codes that we tie to the emails, and then a specific coupon code in those emails. So obviously not everybody clicks through and makes the purchase. Some folks open the email and then they go and pop open another browser. They type in the coupon manually. You got to be able to tie those two together. So it's a big challenge in email attribution or attribution of revenue to email programs, and we're trying to do that here. So best customer campaigns can be really, really powerful. And Ziv, this is the one that you guys are doing, and we've actually left the coupon code on here. So tell us about how.
Hopefully I don't find out retail or not after this talk. So we just wanted to make sure our best customers knew that they were our best customers. So we just set some thresholds, looked at what our top customers do that we really like and want to reward them for. So if they haven't purchased in 75 days, but they were buying a lot from us, we obviously don't want them to go. We want them to stay with us and we're willing to give them the coupon to make sure that they come back and they're happy with us. So the criteria we set was if they haven't purchased in a little while, if they've done 3 or more orders, because those are really our important customers. If we've had them for 3 or more orders, usually we get them for life, so it's really important for us. If for some reason they didn't come back, we make sure they come back. And obviously, if they spend more than $500, that's just another criteria we decided on to rank them as a best.
Cool. And then, Josh, you want to walk us through how you're rewarding your best customers? And obviously, I'm noticing some differences in the thresholds and the criteria there. So
Yeah, so for us, our best customer segment used to be much larger. However, we found that a certain number of our customers, they're like, well, I only purchased from you once, and if I'm your best customer, your company is in so much trouble. So they actually didn't feel like they were the best, so we decided that they'd have a higher than average order value. It'd be their second order, and the second order would have been placed within the last 30 days.
that's great. And again, 41% open rates, 6.7% click rates, pretty phenomenal results from that. And this is just for, it's 10% coupon. So you don't have to be giving best customers, 30, 40% off. For a lot of people, it's just the acknowledgement, just getting that subject line, you're one of the best, seeing this kind of content, a message from the CEO really reinforces that loyalty and helps people feel like they are a valuable part of a community there. So again, remember to tweet. Just one tweet gets you entered to win. We're gonna wrap this up fairly soon. So we got 2 more campaigns. Help your customers buy more. So the concept here is using that purchase history data. You should be able to identify what people are buying, what they've bought in the past, what products correlate to things that they've recently purchased. Hot combos, product recommendations, and use that to drive specific emails. So this is an interesting one that Coffee for Less is doing. These are based on the first purchase. If people buy in specific product categories. So kind of tell us why you're sending these different emails and why you've chosen to take this approach here.
Right, and I assume that a lot of people that drink coffee can relate. If you drink coffee, you usually have a specific brand of coffee that you like. So we set these based on just what kind of products they bought, what are other similar products that they might be interested in. So people like Green Mountain Coffee, they usually stick to Green Mountain Coffees because they have a large variety of flavors. If you're a decaf drinker, obviously you're going to go mostly with decaf, so we have a specific email that is going to have different brands of decaf coffees because a lot of decaf drinkers complain a lot of times that they don't have a large selection. So that was the basic idea.
Cool. And then you're driving these emails. I think this is another important thing to mention. Where you send people from these specific emails, Ziv's really put a big focus on SEO and designing landing pages specific to these sort of product categories. So maybe kind of tell us the philosophy there and what you're doing to optimize that.
So this is actually one of our category pages, and we decided to send customers to these pages. We're really big on, as Andrew said, SEO, so making sure that our titles for our products are there, using the correct HTML elements. We've also, as you can see, had some of our, Andrew is still in our optimizing approval for this screenshot. So the screen might have been zoomed a little bit and we saw the proceed navigation a little bit. For the most part, that's fine. We're trying out a couple of different things on this page, value pops, and making sure that the customer can add easily from the category page.
Cool. And then this is an interesting one. So, you see that blank image there in that email, and obviously some of you might be doing this dynamic loading of content within your email. But this is really just generated from a custom field that Windsor Circle is pushing into their Bronto account. So if you can imagine, you've got all these fields in Bronto. We're adding about 70 fields. One of them is the image to the replenishable item. So it's loading automatically, and then that links through. And then you've also got over here the donut shop one, so that's a static image, right?
Right. Donut shop is probably hands down our most popular product. So we figured we put that there, and I spoke to some of Andrew's team members, and we're looking at possibly automating that in the future. We do love pushing our best product, but maybe it's better if somebody's buying some kind of coffee pod machine, we can instead be pushing the specific pod that goes with that machine. So there's options here, and we look forward to expanding on that.
Right. That's kind of important. I mean, I'm on the marketing automation side of the house, but I think that it's really important that you take that common sense, human intuition to marry to your automation programs. So here we've got We've got automation that's driving the replenishable item, but not everybody wants to reorder the exact same thing that they just bought. So that's why using that sort of human analysis of the data to pick some products that you know are really good sellers, that you know people like, make that part of that email program so that people have choices. And then, and this is kind of like just an example of the segmentation rules. We're not going to walk through exactly how this works, but Ziv, maybe kind of comment on how it is to set up these kind of programs and what happens when you've got them up and running.
Right, we've had an amazing amount of help from the Windsor Circle team, because not all these names are really easy to understand right off the bat. So they've helped us flesh out these rules as we want them, frequency of orders, how long it's been since the customer has purchased, and basically just Bronto has been a great platform for pretty much hosting anything we needed to do. They've been able to make it happen. We've wanted to do, they've been able to make it happen. So it's been great working with both of these great vendors that help us get everything that we need done.
Cool. Then Josh, you want to kind of walk us through product recommendations, what your approach is there, and how you kind of set up these?
Yeah, so for the product recommendation email, it's based off of the last product that the customer purchased. And with that, we take about 5 products from a related category and recommend it to them. What's different between this email and a lot of the other ones that we have is we kind of have some, I would call quirky text, talking about the pistachios and how they're amazing and everything like that. And the coupon code ties into that. And we know customers read them because we got a fair number of comments about how different that was. So
cool. Yeah. So really making sure that you focus on the language that you're using, connect with your audience. Don't make it just kind of a generic, automating sounding email.
Make them want to read it.
That's right. That's right. And then here's a great example of all the different kinds of code that you can bring in here. Dynamic images for a hot combo. You've got the code pulling the title of the last item that was purchased. You got the code that pulls in the title of the hot combo that you're recommending. Right. So this is all dynamic stuff, and these are cool templates to have. And then you just kind of have to sit back and let them make you money, right?
Pretty much, yeah. I actually forgot we had this email running until I saw the presentation. So
yeah, it's the beauty of automation, right? It's like
set it and forget it.
Set it and forget it. So we've only got probably a minute or two. Got to wrap it up now. Okay. So I'll just run through real quick the last kind of campaign. Product data, behavioral data, both really valuable and important. So product information and then timing, frequency of spend. That's what you need to be able to power these kind of campaigns. And then finally, churning customers, as we mentioned earlier, leveraging latency, understanding the dates between purchases, between your segments, using that to drive, using median latency to drive when you send out those win-back campaigns. So we got one, again, this is coming from the CEO. Yep. So it's really, really good stuff. Not as huge open rates as some of the earlier emails, but again, these are churning customers. These are people that were going to disappear anyway. So the fact that you can actually win some of them back is pretty powerful. Coffee for Less is doing the same thing. Really clear titles. I love this. Was it something we said is the first email? Are we still welcome in your inbox? And then is this goodbye? And there's a lot of different ways to do win-back campaigns, and we can talk to you more about this afterwards.